It's a great honor for me to say a few words on behalf of the Fiji Parliament and the association that we've rekindled. It's always existed between New Zealand and Fiji. We've rekindled that, and I know it's going to go on from strength to strength in the future. When I was asked if the New Zealand parliamentary delegation was welcome to Fiji, I said, of course, any New Zealand delegation from Parliament is welcome. We've been there in the past, and they're welcome to be here. So, and they're here on this occasion. But apart from that, there's connections with the military and with sports that has always galvanized us together. But I mentioned something today that people thought or took for granted. We've had, over the years, a very strong peacekeeping role around the world. And I want to emphasize, I've said it before, that we couldn't have done it without the assistance of New Zealand. From the beginning, throughout the early stages, and beyond that. And Australia as well, and to a certain extent, the UK and the United States. But New Zealand was there with us right from the beginning. And we were floundering at that time. Let me tell you that. But they encouraged us. We got the equipment that we needed to go to the Lebanon. That was the beginning. And then we had a change of commanders, and you sent us Ian Thorpe, and he carried the flame for Fiji. Carried the flame for Fiji. And at one stage, we had 3 battalions in the Middle East. For a small country like Fiji, that's unbelievable. But we did, and they were all operating, and it was the skill of and management of Thorpe. But I want to thank the New Zealand government for the assistance that they have done. The Prime Minister is here. We were all there together at one time or another. He's much younger than I am. Although I don't look it, but but we're all there together, and we appreciate what New Zealand has done for us. That's really all that I want to say. There's something that I'm supposed to do as well, but no one seems to be making an indication of that. So I'll just sit that out, and I might be called again. I don't like being called twice, but I'll leave it at that. But Speaker, great to have you here, and we look forward to future such occasions. Naka.
Naka wakaara. Bulavanaka, the Honourable Prime Minister, my colleague, Mr. Speaker, I think we're getting close to the point where I can say my friend, Mr. Speaker. Ministers, members of the diplomatic community, and very important people, including my own delegation. I think that covers everybody who's here And I do want to thank you all for coming. We've been made to feel very welcome. We're having a little bit of a discussion at the moment in New Zealand about New Zealand history and its place in the school curriculum. And it's caused me to think about my own education and the education of my own children and the way that they learnt quite a lot about European economic geography, quite a lot about the economy in the United States, and actually almost nothing about the geography, the social geography, the economy, or the political systems of our nearest neighbours. And I think that's a gap in our education system. And at least as far as our members of Parliament are concerned, it's a gap that I'm determined to fill as much as we can. And that's why, not long after I became Speaker, I managed to do a little bit of budget reallocation that was really before the government got its Pacific reset and funding sort of aligned, and determined to take members of Parliament to the Pacific every year, if I could, in two islands. Fiji was right at the top of the list, and I can't remember the reason why, but for some reason it was inconvenient at the time that we had to come, and we ended up going to Vanuatu and the Solomons. But on this occasion, we've managed to get to the top priority and managed to, I think, continue the development of some relationships which I think have always been good, but they are getting warmer and warmer. I can see in this audience there are a number of people from the Foreign Affairs and Defence Committee. I might have the name wrong, but there was a group that was down and they had some really good discussions with our members of Parliament, and I was lucky enough to have dinner with them, and I think it's fair to say the discussions went a fair way into the evening. It was not an early finishing occasion, and it was very, very enjoyable. And earlier in the year we had a group, a significant proportion of your women MPs come to New Zealand and learned a bit about our system, were met with and caucused with quite a group of our women MPs, and then I think there were two separate occasions as part of that where we met, and I found that there's some really good information for me came out of that, and I hope that was reciprocated. And what the Speaker and I and the Minister for Women, and it seems like half the other things in the Cabinet we're discussing today is the possibility of developing almost like a twinning arrangement with a number of the women MPs and some New Zealand MPs, so that we can get some individual links so that they can spend a little bit of time with each other, possibly in New Zealand and in Fiji, and communicate on a regular basis to help each other in their work and to better develop the relationships between New Zealand and Fiji, which I think are very, very important. I've now spoken for longer than I meant to, but I do want to say thank you very much, both to the government, because Prime Minister, your ministers have given us a lot of time, but especially to Mr. Speaker for allowing us to come and for arranging such an informative program where we've met a great combination of people from within the political and the civil society. Thank you very much.